We are back. Right. Hello, lads. Hello, ladies. The League One show is live. Can you see me? Can you hear me okay? Now, 6 o'clock this was meant to be. It's now just before 6:30. And we've had a bit of an issue. The internet came off everywhere. Facebook's been down. Instagram's been down. Fleetwood going down. And now we are back on today. So let me know if you can hear me perfectly. Again, it's going to be a slightly shorter show today, about half an hour to 35 minutes, talking about League One's action, going through the table, and a quick Q&A at the end. But today, we are back with a special guest. He has been on the channel before, very popular, I may say. I don't know why, but it is Jake from the Stacey West podcast, who supports Lincoln City, and we're going to get him on. Hello, Jake. How are you doing, my friend?
Now then, Napper's good to be back on. Yeah, I'm all right after Saturday. Bit of a heart and mouth game against Plymouth, but happy to be back discussing all things League One, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I can agree with that. It's a great, been a great start to League One, not just for Fleetwood or you as well, but it's been an eventful start to the season. There's been a lot of goals, hasn't there? And it's been eventful. We're going to start off with Accrington against it. Accrington started the season quite well, then went on a bit of a slumber, and now started to pick up all of a sudden. It's a 2-1 win against Ipswich, Jake. Bishop back on the score sheet. He scored a couple against Morecambe the other week as well. Ipswich came to your place and were very fortunate to get a result, weren't they? And they got a good point against Wednesday, and then obviously smashed an awful Doncaster side. Where do you see this Ipswich side going? Because it's a huge game for them. If they win it, it's 10 out of 12, and they're up there. But kind of like now, they've been put down to reality, would you say?
Yeah, I think that's purely from a gelling point of view. I think Paul Cook's brought in nearly 20 faces over the summer, and they're just taking a bit of time to gel. It all obviously clicked into place when they came and played us a couple of weeks ago, as it normally would. But no, you back Paul Cook, don't you, with the record that he's got. But obviously, you talk to Ipswich fans. I've got a couple of mates that are Ipswich fans. They said that Saturday just wasn't good enough. They went up there expecting to win. When you've had your likes of Sunderland that have come down and expected to walk the league. Ipswich seem to be doing the same this year with all their additions. So they'll be disappointed, but obviously Accrington's never an easy place to go and get a result. They've got Colby Bishop, Dion Charles, not even involved from what I can tell. So, yeah, really good result for Accrington, but for Ipswich, probably giving Paul Cook a few question marks going into the international break.
Absolutely, and they currently sit 9 points outside the playoffs and 12 behind the top two. It doesn't seem a lot, but when you're into the international break with only that one home win and that one away win, it is disappointing. They're not losing games. They've only lost 4 of the first 10. They're scoring goals. But going on to Wimbledon against Burton, fairly kind of two sides that you'll expect to compete. I think this is a very talented Wimbledon squad, if I'm honest with you, Jake. I think your Sells, your McCormacks, your Presleys. I think the goalkeepers are very Teasdale having goals are very good playing. You've got your Nightingales and your Ben Hennigans. Burton 1-0 up. Kane Hemmings, second goal of the season, and then McCormack comes in with a late equaliser. Second goal of the season. He's already got 3 assists. Providing his work. It's a good point for both sides. And then we're going to Bolton, a great result for them, who are looking very promising, I find. I think this Bolton side I think I called them a crazy bunch a couple of weeks ago, that they won't score for a couple of games and they'll go and win 5-2 or 4-1 or something like that. You don't know what to expect from them. I think they came to your place and beat you, didn't they? 1-0 early in the season. And they're only the second time that they've won back-to-back games this year. Great win for them. Shrewsbury's staggering a bit this year. They had a good summer in terms of transfer. Do you think this was just maybe 2 games for Shrewsbury, or do you think this is a good Bolton side that could really challenge for the top 6?
I seem to remember, Nappers, when we spoke pre-season, you were back in Shrewsbury, weren't you?
No, right. Let me hear. I said that Shrewsbury, whatever you say. I said that the business they have done has been shrewd. They brought a goal scorer in Bowman. They brought Luke Lehigh to the football club. They signed Pennington on a permanent deal. They brought Morosi, who's a good goalkeeper. and they have a good manager. And I said it'll either go really well for them or really badly for them. And I said I have a feeling it'll probably be better than badly. But yeah, you're right. I'm just trying to wiggle out a bit, aren't I?
Yeah, I know you are. No, as for Shrewsbury, obviously he missed a big opportunity, didn't there, with the penalty from Bowman. I personally don't think he did anything wrong. I think they said on the Quest highlights, 95% of the time the goalkeeper gets the ball and dives out of the way. So is it Dixon, the Bolton goalkeeper, just stand his ground was obviously good for Bolton. Was really impressed with Bolton when they came to Sincil Bank. They played 3 at the back, crazy football like you said under Ian Evatt. But you look back at his Barrow side, they got promoted out of the National League, and you really expect it. So yeah, they're a good side, Bolton. Probably the best of the 4 promoted teams. Probably the ones that were expected to be a bit more higher up the table. But no, another good 3 points for Bolton. I'm sure Shrewsbury will be licking their wounds, and they'll probably go again. But Steve Cottrell's proven to himself, to everybody really, that he's a good enough manager at this level. So I wouldn't be worried for Shrewsbury at this minute in time. But a couple more months, a few more bad results, and you can see why it might spin around for them.
Absolutely. And next, Cheltenham 0, Rotherham 2. Will Griggs scored again, which is huge for them. I think that's their 6th clean sheet of the season. The 5 unbeaten. They've won 3 of the last 5, drawn 2. Kept 3 clean sheets in there, only conceded 2. Edmonds Green scored an absolute world. It's the best start in League One under Paul Ward. They currently sit 4th in the table on 20 points. They've won 6 of the first 11, drawing 2. Again, getting over that 4-2 defeat at home to Fleetwood and that 2-0 home defeat to Sheffield Wednesday very nicely, I feel. But Cheltenham just struggling a little bit at the moment. The last 3 games, they have played 2 or 3 tough sides, Wigan, Sunderland and Rotherham. You're not going to get any tougher than that, I find. And then Crewe, again, 2-0 up. 2-2. Cambridge comeback fighting, but Cambridge conceding a lot of goals, I feel. 2-2, 2-0 and 2-2 in the last few games. Good point for Crewe. Overall, they probably would have taken it. They're getting a little bit better, but still the only side to only win 1 game in the league this season. Now, Jake, Doncaster, MK Dons. It was screaming for an MK Dons win, and I actually had a joke that I thought Doncaster would grab a win in this one. It always seems to be the case when a side goes and gets kind of battered in the week, 6-0. The manager kind of 1 game away. The players put in a performance for him. They could have had more. Rowe has been very impressive for them this season, and then Kukir puts it in from close range. MK Dons not at the races. What did you make of Doncaster getting that vital win?
Very surprised, actually. Obviously, Doncaster's start to the season, they've been quite poor. You look at MK Dons, probably one of the better sides in the division. Looks like Russell Martin's departure to Swansea's really hardly even affected them. But I watched the highlights back on Saturday night. I was a little bit sceptical about the winning goal, if I'm honest. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Nappers, but the linesman was given it as not offside, even though the man is offside. It's just because the MK Dons defender played at the ball. Apologies if there's any Doncaster fans. I think a draw probably would have been a fair result based off what I've heard. But yeah, the goal was quite controversial. But for Doncaster, it's obviously really good. When you're down there, you need any help that you can get. So the problem for Doncaster is they had that really bad second half of the season last year, didn't they? And it looks like they continued that on under Richie Wellens, who is a manager, especially at the level below, has shown that he's a really good manager. So encouraging signs for Doncaster. For MK Dons, I wouldn't be too worried. I still think they're a really good side. I still think they'll be up there towards May. But good result for Don.
Absolutely, I agree. MK Dons, are the best footballing side in the division. Now, I come on to Fleetwood, who were absolutely embarrassing the other day. Absolutely spineless, weak. Men against boys at time, and this was a Charlton side that had, we'd given him a leg up, really, and I'm not really bothered about losing the game of football. It's the manner that we concede goals. It's the mannerism that Fleetwood concede chances. It's not good enough at all. We concede 5 or 6 chances a game, and by the way, this is not a new thing. It's happened every game this season where Fleetwood will get battered 6-0 this year. Something like that. Just mark my words, it is coming. We are atrocious defensively with a back four, with a back five. You know, you can put 8 of them in the front, but we'll still concede so many chances. We're so easy to play against. We open up, we play through us, we play wide, they'll just literally get it side to side and open us up. Great win for Charlton, though, 2-1. First away win in front of fans for 599 days. That takes him to 21st on 9 points. And Wigan, again, 200 fans made the long journey over to Gillingham. You know, no roof on the away, again, absolutely battered. You know, Keane on the score sheet again, got his first Ireland call-up this week, and Max Power getting the goals. And then we go on to our final fixtures, and we're going to bring in Jake again for this one. Lincoln 2, Plymouth Argyle 2. Again, he went behind twice, but managed to get the point. And again, a penalty in the last minute. Not the first time you score one of those this year at Central Bank, is it? But again, rescued a point. Anthony Scully with his 7th of the season. How important has he been this year? And how important could that point be this year?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on Will Keane. You mentioned that he got his first Ireland call-up ahead of Anthony Scully, which is an absolute farce based off how Scully's been this year. You know, you mentioned it there. Anthony Scully is just on another level. He looked like last year he was the 12th man in a side where Morgan Rogers and Brennan Johnson completely stole the highlights, and you can't blame Mike Appleton for picking those 2 players given where they are now. But yeah, Anthony Scully's really come on this year. Looks like he's beefed up a little bit. He's certainly found the net a bit better than what he did last season. Really clever movements. He looks like he's doing it all really. Him and Liam Bridcut sort of controlled us on Saturday because we were really poor in possession. But out of possession, I thought we were really handy. Obviously, you mentioned there the penalty. Last Sorensen goes down outside the box. Ryan Lowe was absolutely livid. He has every right to be because the last 2 times they've come up to Lincoln, they've been done by 2 dodgy penalties. Obviously, we're not going to mind. We just enjoy watching the popcorn while Ryan Lowe has a pop at the press. But yeah, it's going to be an important point. Obviously, Plymouth are a really good side. Plymouth probably are now where we were 12 months ago. You know, really high in confidence, and you can tell because they look comfortable in their own skin. That, you know, you've got Hardy and Jeff up front who causes a lot of problems. Bruno midfield was absolutely brilliant as well. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely a point gained if you're a Lincoln City fan, but I can imagine it's certainly 2 points from those Plymouth Argyle, who also, I just want to note, 1,000 of them, well, nearly 1,000 of them came up from Plymouth on a Saturday. Really good effort, really vocal. So really impressed with Plymouth. I should be looking to go down there towards the back end of the year, but really good point for Lincoln, I feel.
I agree with you. I think Plymouth Argyle fans are one of the best in the division, and there's reasons why I rank them above. I think I rank them above Wigan and your Charlton and your Oxford. You know, and Lincoln didn't even sneak into my top 10 as well. It was that hard. But Argyle, they travel in numbers and fair play. That's 10 unbeaten for them now. 5 wins, 5 draws, and again, yes, it is a disappointing result. But if you can win 1 draw and go unbeaten for 15 games, that's 2 points a game. It's an unbelievable record. Then we go to Portsmouth against Sunderland. What a win. Yes, I know, you know, Sunderland aren't happy about the state of the pitch, but Portsmouth just grew to the conditions a lot better. It's the same for both sides. You know, Portsmouth got at Sunderland. It seemed like they were rallied up and they were hurting from the last 7 games. You know, not winning in 7 does hurt teams, and you can be fired up for these big games. You know, a lot of people say it's going to be 4-0 to Sunderland, and that can just rally you up. But it just seemed like the Portsmouth 3 years ago, you know, with the harnesses back to his full best. That's 2-2 now. He's 100th Portsmouth appearance the other day. What a way to celebrate. Mark is back with 2 goals and a fantastic assist for Lee Brown, who scored his 5th goal in 12 games this year. He's a left back. Mind you, he doesn't play left wing back. He's a left back and he's got 5 goals. So great result for them. Sunderland, you know, I wouldn't worry about them. He's still averaging 2.2 points a game. That's 101 points over 46 games. Do I think they'll get it? No. But do I think they'll go up? I think they're a different animal this year. I really do. But talking about different animals, a lot of people aren't mentioning Oxford to me, Jake. I think a lot of people are saying Oxford are having a poor season. And they currently sit, 8th in the division, a point outside the playoffs, 4 points off the top, 4 points off top place. You know, they're 2 points better. I think they're something like 9 points better off as they were this time last season. You know, I think they had 16 points in the first 16 games. They've got 18 from 11. You know, they normally get better as the season goes on. they've dropped a lot of points from scoring first as well. I think it's 10 points, which is the most with Ipswich in the division. But they score goals. They've got a good manager. Great result. But Sheffield Wednesday, that's what, 1 win in 6 now, drawn 3. It's just think, how much football, winning games of football can breed confidence. Oxford, unbeaten in 3, are looking top 2. Wednesday, 1 win in 6, are kind of staring down the bottom of the table now.
Yeah, really impressive, Oxford. Did you see the goal that won it from Henry? Bloody class, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
He caused us all sorts of nightmares when we played them earlier in the year as well. Obviously, under Carl Robinson, Oxford have been quite slow starters, haven't they? You look at last year, they only just sneaked into the playoffs, and if they'd had a really good start, the start they're having now, who knows where they could have been? They could have finished above Blackpool, they could have finished above us. So, yeah, really impressive Oxford. They battered us a couple of weeks ago. It wasn't too difficult for them, but under Carl Robinson, they're always going to be up there, aren't they? For Sheffield Wednesday, they've perhaps got the syndrome that some London Ipswich fans first have when they come down into League One, thinking too big for the division. Can't blame them. They're a massive football club, massive following. We're looking forward to going there in a couple of weeks, but I'd be a little bit concerned if I was Darren Moore at the moment in terms of they're making key mistakes. You look at the goalkeeping mistake against Ipswich. Defensively, I don't think they'll play against Oxford. So definitely a lot of work for them to focus on in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, spot on. I think you've summed it up perfectly well there. And again, manager masterclass at the weekend. Wycombe going to Morecambe, a very tough game. Morecambe started well. They scored, a lot of goals. They're sitting where they are for a reason. They're comfortably in mid-table. I think they've just come off a 7-point game week. And then go to Wycombe, go 2-0 up. McCormack scores a decent goal. And Adam Phillips, a great assist from, Goal Stockton, as the Shrimps fans have been calling him, the most goals in kind of Europe right now. And Adam Phillips, who I really like, I said, I think he's the most unique player in League One. I'd have him in the Fleetwood side. He's on loan from Burnley at the moment. But again, Angel gets in that tunnel, gears them up, and they go 3-2 up. Kyle Leathern should do better with all 3, I'll be honest with you. But the way Morecambe respond, Jonah Younger, top corner, beautiful goal, just dinks David Stockdale in the Wycombe goal. But again, Thompson, last minute 4-3 to make it 4 wins from 4 for Wycombe, which puts them 5th in the table. Now, Jake, I'm very interested to know. Now, I always say, football fans always say kind of the 10-game marker, don't they? Then it's kind of, right, where are you at Christmas? Then you have a look again in February, March, and then you go into your Easter period. So that's how I'd separate my season into 4 or 5 little chunks. Now we're at that mark. The bottom 4 consists of Doncaster, Shrewsbury, Crewe, and Charlton. Fleetwood, Ipswich, and Gillingham just above. How many of those do you think will be in and around the bottom 4 at the end of the season? And before you do say, remember what football club I support and what show you're on.
I fully expect Charlton and Ipswich to not be down there. Doncaster, another one. I expect them to click at some point soon. Even Fleetwood have really impressed me. Ever since coming to Lincoln and copping an L like he did. What a day that was. I expect Fleetwood probably to sort themselves out. I'm worried for Gillingham. Definitely worried for Crewe as well. There's a few teams though that could easily find themselves sucked into it, because that's the thing with League One being so tight. I wouldn't be surprised to see Burton get dragged down, or a Cambridge or a Cheltenham or somebody like that. So it's difficult because League One is so tight and anyone can beat anyone. Personally, I'm not judging where we are, especially until we've played everybody at least once. That way, I think you can gauge a better understanding of how you fare up against teams, and you can work them out for the second time. But I hope we're certainly not down there. I don't think Fleetwood are going to be, even though I have predicted them to come like 22nd in my predictions, which we'll gloss over. But fully expect Charlton, fully expect Ipswich to get out of it. Doncaster, Fleetwood, some of the teams that have been looking up towards the top end of the division over the last couple of years, and especially Fleetwood getting in the playoffs a couple of years ago. So, I think you should be okay. Obviously, it's too early to back anyone for relegation, because you could be looking at absolute mug. Because more can do it every year, don't they? They look like they're down and they're out, and they pull themselves out. So, it's going to be fascinating, because League One's a really good league this year, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'd love to look at Cheltenham and Cambridge and your Wimbledons who have started the season well and just maybe starting to drift a little bit, conceding a few goals, not maybe winning the game that they were, just a few games ago. But in League One, it's a momentum thing. With these 3 games a week, like Morecambe, I think they won 1 in 4, 1 in 5, and they're on a slump. They go and beat Crewe, they go and beat Lincoln, they go and get a point against Accrington, and it's a good week for them. It changes the momentum going into the next 3 or 4 games, and if you can nick a couple of wins. Now going to the top 6. Now Plymouth, Rotherham, Wycombe, and MK Dons. I said last week I wouldn't be surprised if that is the top 6 at the end of the year. I think the top 2 for me are done. I think they are the best 2 teams in the league. I think they've still got to work hard for it. There's still a lot of work to be done. But League One is that fascinating league that you've got your Boltons, you've got your Oxford, you've got Portsmouth, who will challenge. Sheffield Wednesday will improve as well. Could Ipswich improve? Could Charlton improve? So you've got kind of the 4 underdogs and the 2 teams that could go on a run as well. If you had to pick one team now that aren't in the playoffs to get in, who would you go for? If I was to go for one, if I'm honest with you, I'd probably go for Bolton because he scored goals. I like the front 4, your Apollons, your Sarceviches, your Isgroves, your Doyles, your Kachunga. He's not a bad option to have off the bench as well.
It's difficult, isn't it? There's a lot of teams sort of just clustered outside of the playoffs at the moment. I think I'm going to have to go for Ipswich because once they get going, I know it's such a boring answer, but I think once they get going, I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going to be similar to you look at Blackpool last year. They started off horrendously, 8 points from 8 games, something like that, and they came 3rd. So I think even at this early point in the table, if Ipswich are 9, 10 points behind the rest of them, I think especially once they've got everybody back fit and they've got everybody working in the system that Paul Cook knows and Paul Cook likes. So, yeah, there's signs that they're coming back into the way they want to play. You saw that against Donny, you saw that against Accrington in spells, but they're yet to put a 90-minute performance together, I think. So, yeah, I would say Ipswich. Obviously, Bolton's a really good one that you've picked. But I'd like to make a case for Lincoln, but I can't see it this year. I think we're in transition. So, yeah, I'll be boring and say Ipswich, but the top 6. I have to disagree with you about the top 2. I'm yet to see Sunderland and Wigan, but they look beatable. I feel like if teams play a certain way, I feel like they can get at both of the teams. So it's open, and that's what we love about League One. But I can probably see MK Dons sneaking into that top 2 just about instead of Wigan.
Bold shout. I don't think MK Dons defensively are good enough. They conceded 15 goals already in the first 11. But, it can all change. I want to know. Get liking the stream, guys. We've got about 10 to 15 minutes left. Just a short one tonight. There has been problems with StreamYard and all the providers, but we will be back next week with a kind of a full hour and a half show in the midweek previewing Saturday's game, the international weekend this week. A lot of games to be called off, so I don't want to preview them again to be called off as well. I want you to know in the comments, and me and Jake are going to do it now before we go into a Q&A, your one disappointment team, barring Ipswich or Charlton. So you can't see those 2 teams because I know it's going to be filled with that. And your one surprise package this year in League One. Let me know down below. And we'll come, and me and Jake will go through it. So for me, Jake, my surprise package, if I'm honest with you, I'm going to go for Wycombe, if I'm honest with you. Now, Wycombe, I expected them to do well, but not do as well as they are doing, if I'm honest with you. Because it takes a long, long time to get back into a winning culture. After coming down the way they did, they were very unlucky to come down as well, you've got to remember. You got an unbelievable run towards the end of the year. Given 2 or 3 more games, they probably would have stayed. But a couple of mistakes. So to do as well they are doing, to average nearly 2 points a game. And my disappointment team, I'm going to go for Crewe, because Crewe, I don't think weakened that much in the summer. I think they didn't weaken, in my opinion, but they brought some good players in. Kane Ramsey came in, they brought Kasha in, they brought Chris Long in. So they've got a very good team. Would you agree with that? Would you go slightly different? Let me know.
I think the team that I'm most disappointed in have been Burton Albion, actually. obviously when Jimmy Floyd and Dino Marmia came in, sort of back at sort of Christmas time, wasn't it? Last year they were phenomenal, weren't they? They went on an absolute worldy run. And then this year they started off like a house on fire, and they've sort of just died down completely, haven't they? You look at the players that they brought in. I think Jefferson was one player that was linked with like Sunderland teams in the Championship. So they brought some really good players in. They've got Michael Bostwick, who's a very good defender at this level. They've signed some really good players. Sam Hughes is another one. I think my surprise package, I'm going to say Wigan, actually. Even though they've spent a load of money in the summer on Charlie Wycombe, and they brought some really good players in. You look in comparison to where they were, maybe 6 months ago to where they are now. You think that's a whole new football club, isn't it? The change in ownership's helped massively for Wigan. They look like they've got an owner who cares and who wants to invest in the football club for the long term. I've spoken to my mate Baz, who's a big Wigan fan, and he's sort of saying that the transformation is unbelievable. He can't believe it, but he's very happy, obviously. And I think Wigan probably. I think because they're just different, aren't they? They're a completely different animal to what they were maybe, as I say, 6 months ago.
Absolutely, and pressure is a big thing in football, and it's a big thing to live up with. Pressure going from down there to down there, and Liam Richardson has done a very good job at maintaining those expectations and making Wigan a team and a place to be, what people want to go and play the football. That's a fair play to that. If you could like the stream, that would be massively appreciated as we come in to our Q&A. If you've got any burning questions for me and Jake, let us know. We'll do 5 or 6 minutes to end the show. Kieran has come in. Who do you think will go up as champions? Well, I've already said I think Sunderland will win the league, but I say that every year and they finish 8th in the league or they bottom the playoffs.
Well, I think my pre-season prediction was Ipswich, so I'm not really looking pretty right now, am I? So based off this year, I think Sunderland again. It's a similar answer to you, really. They just look a different animal, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Opinion on Crewe, I think they've had not the greatest start to the season. They're not losing as much as other teams, but they're drawing too many games of football. If they can turn a couple of those into wins, I think they'll be okay. I think they've got to that stage where Dave Artell won't be sacked, whatever the circumstance. I don't think he does. I think at football clubs such as Lincoln, Crewe, I would actually say Cheltenham as well, Cambridge, Rotherham. These are the types of teams that I think their manager, for what they've done for their football clubs over years or over periods of time, don't really deserve to be sacked. Deserve that a little bit more time, that little bit more leniency, because you know what you're going to get, and loyalty is everything in football. And if you can sit with them, maybe they'll sit with you when they maybe do as well. Charlton fans here, we have played shite this season. No teamwork, no organisation, and call for chances. We want Atkins out. Atkins, to me, seems too soft, and he rolls over, and he seems like the guy that, as a dad, he'll say, you're not getting any pocket money, and you could go to his wallet and nick a quid out and he won't shout at you. He'll probably just put you on the naughty step for 10 minutes. And sometimes in football, you just need that bit of rollicking, especially in League One. That's just my personal opinion. But let's see.
Goldbridge is here, look.
Oh, I know. Oh, here we go. What do you think of John Coleman, lads? I think he's a god, and he didn't get into my top 10 managers this year because what he does at Accrington is amazing. It is unbelievable, and it just seems second nature to me now. And it's like fair, but I think there's a stage where maybe he walks away. He's another one that can do what he wants at a football club, in my opinion. How long does he give it? Because yes, he is a legend at Accrington, but where can he realistically go? Could they go up? Could they challenge?
Yeah, does he fit? The problem with Coleman is, as good as a manager he is, does he feel like he's taken Accrington as far as he can take them? And you have to ever wonder when one of the big jobs in League One becomes available. I think John Coleman should be right up there for the picks, because you can imagine that he wants a change of scenery where he might want a budget to play with, like how Paul Cook's got. So, really good manager. Really irritated me the year they won League Two, but that just would happen, I suppose.
Top goal scorer early shot now. When was I with Jack? I said Stewart, Scully, and votes, I said, will all be up there. I still think Stewart will win it. I still think he'll get over the 20 goals. I think he's athletic. I think he's fit. He runs the channels. He works hard. You know, he's mobile. He scores goals, scores with his head, left, right. You know, the okey-dokey, basically, every part of his body. What do you think? You know, you've got a certain somebody at your football club that's going to be right in the mix this year, 7 already.
Yeah, he's not bad, is he? But I don't think Scully's going to see the season out with Lincoln, which is why I think he probably won't be the top goal scorer. I think he'll probably get picked up by a Championship club. Some folks, for me, dangerous in the penalty box, really dangerous. You know, he scored against us. You know, he's sort of hitting a bit of form. So he's a player that shouldn't be in this division, really, should he? So yeah, some folks, for me, I think.
Absolutely not. I think Cheltenham, just because they've got that never say die attitude, they can pull a result out like they did Charlton, like when they beat Oxford. They can keep it tight at the back normally, barring conceding 2 goals a game at the moment, basically. They've got good players on the, you know, going forward. You know, your likes of Alfie Mays, I think he's a very good player. You know, Wright been injured at the moment. You know, they've got good players all over the pitch. So I think Cheltenham. What about you, Jake?
Shrewsbury, just by the skin of the teeth. Final day sort of stuff. I can see them just because they're just one of those teams out there that always seem to be in League One. I don't know about you, Nappers.
Yeah, like a Gillingham, then Fleetwood are the longest 2 serving teams in League One, and Shrewsbury will be up there as well. Again, I'm not being funny. Ipswich fans, you were loving him on Tuesday night. You've got to take the rough with the smooth. It's going to be a tough journey. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a long journey.
Why would Howell go there? Why would Howell go to Ipswich? I felt Eddie Howe would have the pick of the Championship if Eddie Howe decided to return to management. I don't think he'd be going to a team that are 19th in League One and struggling to gel. And plus, you need to give Cook time because he's a really good manager. So, no, not for me.
Get out of it, JT. Get out of it. Come on. You're a Fleetwood fan. Ipswich, the wages have gone up dramatically. And I do a spreadsheet. The amount of players that they've used this year, I think I was working out that they've used 14 stores. It's around 14 attacking players when you look at, you know, your Sonia Lucos, your Chaplins, your Frasers, your Burns, your Norwoods, you know, these types of players. And it's hard to gel in, and you want a settled 11. I'd rather have a good 15-player squad than a good 25-man squad. Because when you've got a good 15-man squad, they'll play every week, they're settled, they know the job, they love the team, and they'll do everything for each other. Whereas they're competing against each other now, where they're not working maybe as a team and in cohesion as well. So that's what I think the problem will be at Ipswich. I think you need to give it time. Time is everything in football. And if it doesn't work out with, you know, maybe 7 or 8 games, I know it's a long way away, but you can easily win 4 of those. You know, if you keep climbing the table, you'll be okay. And you've got to realise you're playing away at Accrington, which is one of your bogey grounds, first of all. As like, well, it's a tough place to go. You know, no one, you know, first of all, wants to go to Accrington or, you know, wants to go and play football there because it's a tough place to go. 1 minute, we've got who else have we got? Hal wants to stay on the South Coast. It's different because different players and managers like staying in particular areas. You see Simon Grayson will go out the north, and if you're happy then you're going to get your best at yourself there. You're going to do that, aren't you? Opinions on midfield maestro Harrison Higgins. Now, sorry about that. I did say Harrison Higgins once when I was shouting at him, and honestly, the other day, he was unbelievable the other day. I've never seen a performance. Honestly, it was so good. It was basically Charlton's man of the match. So, yeah. Actually, 2 former Fleetwood players saved us in the last 2 games. Madden, but can you name the other goal scorer? Rydell?
Is that Stockport County?
Well, I know, what's he called? The ones that just come from Ollie Cranshaw scored the winner for them the other day, who made me have the meltdown against Wigan. So, anyway, guys, that is the end of tonight's show. Just a short one. We've had loads of internet issues, loads of StreamYard issues, but we are back with the League One content. If you could give the stream a like, that'd be appreciated. Loads of League One content coming for you every week. Now, normally what's going to happen going forward is the League One review show will be happening every Monday when there's been like a full round of fixtures. And then if there's been a midweek game, we'll have it on a Wednesday or a Thursday going forward. Next week, it will be later in the week due to me going away with the Football Content Awards in the final. Fleetwood might be able to actually win something for once, which we don't do very often. So I'd just like to say thank you for everyone that did vote and got me to the final. It is massively appreciated. We've got over 7,000 subscribers now, which is an unbelievable achievement. Fleetwood getting battered by the stinking Reds. Go on the Charlton. Do you think Cambridge will stay up with Jack Lancaster? I think Cambridge will be in my bottom 4. I really do. Just quickly, who do you think who's in your bottom 4, Jake, out of interest?
Oh, I think I've gone. I think at the start of the season I went.
No, go now. Forget
Go
the start
now.
of the season.
Go
now.
now.
We'll put you on the spot, son.
God. Crewe. I'm going to go Crewe, Gills, Burton, and Burton, and I think perhaps Morecambe might slip down.
I tell you what, those 4 sets of fan base, get these DMs and tell me knows nothing about football. If I'm going to go for it, I'm going for Doncaster, Shrewsbury, Crewe, and Cambridge. Cheltenham will just stay up. Gillingham will scrape it.
Yeah, you wanted to say Gillingham, didn't you? You wanted to say Gillingham.
Fleetwood will scrape it. Gillingham will just stay up just. I'd like Wimbledon and Morecambe. I've never been relegated. So let me know down below. I think Burton, I think that's harsh. They're 9th in the table. They've had a bad start and they've only lost 3 games.
No.
Bad start. Come on. Anyway, thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoy. Again, go and check out Jake's channel, the Stacey West podcast. I will be appearing, at the end of the season when Fleetwood are playing Lincoln. Is it in February time? I think it is. So yeah, he does very good interviews.
I have to ask somebody else if you're going to talk to me like that.
Oh, I know. He does do very good interviews, and I met him at Lincoln Away. He only made me walk about 1.5 miles to go and meet him from the bus. But anyway, thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. There's been the League One content. I hope you enjoy. We're off, over and out from me, the cheeky cod, just above the relegation zone. MK Dons slip to 6th, while Wigan march on at top of the table. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks to Jay. Thanks to all of you back home up the cods.
No.